Hello, and thank you for asking the question, do our spirit guides desert us when we ignore their guidance repeatedly? My name's Illura, and I'm from the Sacred Gates Ascension podcast, and for many years I worked with spirit guides. I also drew them and had a lot of dialogue in my mind and in written form and through art as well. And yes, spirit guides will desert us if we ignore their guidance repeatedly, because it's like anything. If you have a real spiritual teacher in this reality reel, if you have a spiritual teacher and you ignore all their advice, then they may not desert you, and they also may desert you, but what will desert you is your connection to them. Yeah. So if you continually ignore and avoid, then the actual substance of ignoring pushes away. Yeah. And that's why you, in your question, you say at crucial points in your life you've heard a voice, but because you didn't have the courage, because of fear, now you feel like your life is meaningless. And there we do create a lot of distance and space. The same way, if you imagine it's someone that you know in your life and you ignore them, they will just fade away, right? Because the substance of ignoring or actually will push people away and push spiritual energies away. And so there have been times in my life where I've had a lot of higher self information coming through, and due to my own issues at that time, I didn't follow. And I did notice that the voice or the lessons and the inspiration would come again. But every time I didn't jump on it and use it due to lack of courage or laziness, fear, whatever it was, whatever the narrative was, then yes, the energies would start to kind of become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, and our lives then become meaningless. They have less meaning in them because the guidance that your guide or guides were giving you was designed to fulfill some desire of yours to have more meaning. So yes, of course, due to fear and lack of courage, which is when you need courage, right? We only need courage when we are feeling fearful. But if we don't use our courage and use our will to ignite our will, so our courage ignites our will, and if we do ignore the special guidance that we do believe is coming from a higher positive source, then yes, your spirit guides will desert you. And it can from our lower self feel like they are deserting us, but it really is self-punitive, isn't it? They are not punishing us. If they are from a high divine source, then these guides will not punish us. Divine sources, spirit guides, do not get anything out of punishing us. The path of the highest self, the path of divinity, is not punitive by nature onto us. We are self-punishing ourselves. So rather than so much them deserting you, which is how it feels from the lower self's perspective, a little bit like a little child, actually the spirit guides, we have deserted them. We deserted meaning. We deserted our quest for courage. We deserted our quest for effort. We deserted our quest to find trust and faith in ourselves and in a higher being. So hopefully that has answered your question. And you know what? You can find more courage in your life. I do have some videos on my podcast. Videos, you're welcome to check them out on developing and strengthening your will. And it's something that you can do. You can grow your will at any time, which will give you more courage. So I hope that's been helpful, and thanks for asking the question. Bye-bye for now.